This answers all of those questions. You hear every burp, every fart,
Right.
every
Right.
sound, every
Right.
snoring. People coming from three different directions with three different vehicles. Talk about next is the different camping areas. Is I want to talk about RV rentals.
When we found out that it was going to be until 2028, it was like, my goodness, that's
2028.
2028.
Hello and welcome to NorCal EDM News, a niche channel dedicated to supporting local DJs, promoters, and venues in Northern California and giving them the spotlight they deserve. But today, we expand a bit and talk about a love of ours, the Gorge Amphitheater, and the return of Above and Beyond in 2026 with ABGT 700. We will talk all things Gorge and what does a rooster have to do with all of this, and what does Washington State football have to do with all of this? Out of nowhere, the dates for ABGT 700 was recently announced September 11th to the 13th of 2026, and we can thank Sage Cliff Resort. Speaking of Sage Cliff Resort, back in 2019 when it was KB, we stayed there the Monday after and then consequently stayed there in 2022 and 2023 as Sage Cliff. It was a beautiful place to stay, but take a real shower, get a proper meal, just relax and enjoy the day the Monday after. But it's like double the price, like $600 or $700 for the cheapest room. Are you kidding me, Sage Cliff? Guess we won't be doing that in 2026. This video is absolutely for our Anjuna family who'll be traveling to the Gorge in 2026 for ABGT 700. But honestly, it's for anyone traveling to the Gorge in 2026. So I'm sitting down today with Rebecca with GW Secure Parking out of George, Washington, and someone who's very closely connected to the Gorge Amphitheater. If you've ever been on Reddit and had any questions about the Gorge, it's likely Rebecca has chimed in and you've seen her post. She's been extremely helpful. So we're going to have her on in here in a minute. Now this video is more of a conversation starter. We're not covering everything today, and that's intentional. But in upcoming videos, I'll be hosting sometime a live Q&A session, and I'll have Rebecca and other guests on, other locals, where we're going to help you navigate not only the Vantage Bridge construction and alternate routes to the Gorge, but we're also going to talk about buying tickets, camping versus hotels, how to get your whole crew into the venue because you can only have 6 people in your camp spot. So how to navigate that, renting RVs, renting camping gear, and we'll talk about which campground fits your group the best. So basically, we're going to help you plan your Gorge experience so that it works for you and it's not just something that you survive, right? So if you're thinking about ABGT 700 or really any Gorge event in the future, this series is going to be for you. So let's start the conversation. And we're live. So here's Rebecca. I talked about Rebecca. Welcome. Thank you for coming in. And if you want this, let the fam know what GW Secure Parking is all about.
Sure. So we're just a family-owned small business. We literally built the parking lot by ourselves, and a lot of concert goers kind of looking for somewhere to go with their vehicles. I saw the problem, and my husband is really good at building things, and so we decided in 2023 to build the parking lot.
But that can lead into our first topic, and that is people coming from 3 different directions with 3 different vehicles. We know that you can only have 6 and you all have to arrive in one vehicle,
Right.
Whether it's an RV, your car, and you're going to pick up an RV. So that's where GW Secure Parking comes in, because what you do is you have all 3 vehicles meet at your facility. They pay for the parking and then they go in and take off. Is that correct?
Oh yeah. And it doesn't really matter how many vehicles the whole group has. Bring in your friends, however many vehicles you need to unload and just get together and get all your stuff into the one vehicle and then leave.
And how far is your facility from the Gorge? Like a 12-minute drive or something?
It's 8.5 miles. It's about 12 minutes.
Okay, so all you people that are coming in 3 different vehicles, you might have rental cars, you might have your own vehicles, you know, coming from the airport or whatever, then you all meet up at GEW Secure Parking. Rebecca and her husband take care of you. That's where you have your car safely parked. You cram into one vehicle, and then you head to the gorge. And you also have camping kits available, a few of them, right? So if people want to camp, probably people who fly in, right? They would drive and pick up their camping gear. So if you want to tell the people what you have available there.
Sure, yeah. So we've heard a lot of stories about people just flying in and then having to go to Walmart or some local supply store and have to buy a whole bunch of camping gear, and then they'd use it for the weekend, and then they'd have to find somewhere to unload it, you know, whether it be the garbage or somebody that they can donate it to. And so we figured that there has to be, you know, we wanted to provide a cheaper solution for them, because that gets really expensive after you start figuring in all the equipment that you need. So so we have four 2-person camping kits, and we just have the 1 4-person camping kit for now.
Talk about next is the different camping areas. Okay, so this was the camping areas in the past. You got the standard camping around here, you've got premier camping, you've got terrace camping, front yard camping, which used to be gold, and then the grove, and this is always where it's glamping and stuff. So last year this season, during the 2025 season, as you well know, this was the configuration. They moved, Premier used to be right here, and they moved it to Gorge RV, and then standard camping became tent camping, or Gorge tent, and then they had the big rig gold. So from what I'm reading, and maybe you know, ahead of the 2026 season, I think they're going back to the way we know it. Do you agree? Is that something that you...
I would 100% agree. Yeah, I really
took a good
look at it. Yeah, because there finally was enough information. Well, last year, the tent only was tent only, and they didn't allow any RVs.
Which
and
was
I think
where Premier was, right?
Right, okay. And that was a huge issue with a lot of people. I heard a lot of comments about how, you know, that they didn't like that. And so I'm sure that if I heard the amount of comments, I'm sure that they heard a lot more themselves. And so they went back to the standard camping, and also the front yard camping, which they're allowing all types of camping to be at the front yard,
which used to be gold.
Right. And they're also the standard camping, they're allowing all types again. So that was one huge change that I noticed, and it's for the better.
Okay, so for those of us and Judah fam who went to the Weekender in 2019, 2022, and 2023, nothing has changed, because we weren't there this year in 2025 to. So that's why like my old videos were kind of, I thought they're going to be out of date, but actually they're back to being relevant again, because they're going back to the old way. I'll take some time to talk about previous content. Yeah, on Sippy Cup Adventures of Northern California, we had a few channels on the Weekender. And then I had the channel We Are in Juna Family, where I have a few more helpful videos. Now, I would go to this channel, and I'll leave a link down below for this particular video. I'm pretty proud of that one. That's a really good video to watch. So again, links will be down below. The standard camping, that's the least expensive route to go, and you could just basically tent camp, but you can also bring an RV there. The plots are smaller, so you can't have
you just have to make sure to bring a small RV.
Yeah, small RV there. Yeah. And then Premier is where we've been all 3 years, and we look forward to, for 700, going using Premier, because that's less expensive. It's a longer way walk to the amphitheater itself, but it's closer to the pivot, which is fine, and we'll get more into that. Remember, we're going to be doing a live Q&A video sometime after the first of the year, but before tickets go on sale. I'll have Rebecca on, I'll have other guests on, so we'll enhance more onto that. So, but you can, so standard, you could have RV. They got to be smaller. Premier, you can have a bigger RV. Terrace is kind of the swanky area. There's less spots available. It's got the biggest views, but they provide, coffee and donuts and things of that nature. They usually go first once tickets go for sale. Then front yard camping, which is gold, the old gold, for you remember that. That's big RV, bigger plots. And then the Grove is where you could take your RV and have hookups. It's the only place on the venue that you can have hookups. And then Oasis is glamping tents that are really expensive. But so I pretty much covered that. That's all the camping area. And like it depends, everyone, the biggest question is where do I want to go? It depends on where you want to be closer to and how much walking that you want to do. There's advantages of both.
Exactly.
I think. So my next question, which leads us into, they've had shuttle passes. So if you're in front yard camping, which is close to the venue, but you're a long ways away from the afters, which is our favorite, called the Pivot, you can get a shuttle, I think. So shuttles used to be free. So what can you know, or do you think they're still going to do shuttles, and do you think there's going to be a charge for it? Or I think with Premier, a shuttle came for it, but now it may be an add-on. What can you talk about shuttles?
So from what I've seen, because, I really like to compare and just really analyze what they used to have on their website compared to what they have now. And what I did notice is that they have taken everything off of their website that mentions shuttle.
Okay,
even
currently.
The terraces, currently.
Okay.
Yeah, like the terrace, because last year, forgive me if I'm mistaken, but from what I think I remember is the terrace, it was like the only one that included the camp, was it the Camp Express pass?
Okay.
And then the rest of them you had to add it on. And there was a lot of complaints that I've seen came through from people that they didn't like the added expense. They didn't think that they, they didn't want to pay for that. They thought it should be included. And so what I think that they heard everybody's, complaints and what they, and truthfully, to be completely honest, they had to do their own shuttling last year. I'm not sure if they hired out or if they had to literally hire workers and buy shuttles and do all that for the Camp Express Pass thing. What I think was so important to notice is that it's not for sale anymore. It's not for sale.
Pass?
Right. At least
Okay.
I haven't seen it anywhere for Jack Johnson, Grizztronics. The only place that I'm seeing it is maybe Base Canyon, but they always have from what I've seen in the past years, I've seen a lot of their own shuttling. They bring in their own stuff, but I don't think that the Gorge is going to be providing, at least they're not saying it right now.
It is still early in the season, so there could be something that can come online. So again, most of us know that we're at 2022 or 2023 Weekender, was that the shuttle was free and it was like a bus, right? It was like a city bus that you could get from Premier. You had to have a Premier or Terrace. Standard people, they didn't get the advantage of the shuttle.
What I've noticed is that they've completely taken everything off of the website that has to do with shuttles for now. But I would think that if they had shuttle passes, that they would be selling them right now. So if anything, I think that they'll go back to being free.
So there's a couple events that are scheduled in 2026 that they're currently selling tickets. I think Beyond Wonderland, right? And Grizztronics is sold out.
Yes.
I don't even know what a Grizztronic is, but
it sold out so fast, though. Everybody wanted his ticket, so it's pretty cool.
So I just kind of wanted to button this up a little bit about the shuttles and why it's important. Again, it's going to help you choose where you're going to camp. So if you're in the Grove, front yard camping, the Oasis, yes, you're closer to the Gorge Amphitheater, but you're farthest away from the Pivot. And consequently, if you're in Premier camping or Terrace, you're farther away from the amphitheater. So shuttles will get you back and forth. So that's why it's important to know about the shuttles. And a quick note about the Pivot. See, the Pivot has, the afters, but they also have vendors. They've got food trucks. They've got the general store. That's where yoga takes place. So there's a lot of amenities up at the Pivot. Also, they've got, other music events going on. I remember Cree was supposed to be here, but he was having a baby, so they were playing Cree music here. Yeah, okay, so let's move on to the next one, and that is the hotel stays. I've currently reached out to someone who wanted to stay in a hotel. He's of my age, turning 60, and I'm like, you got to be at the venue. You have to stay at the venue. I want to sleep,
Right.
You may not get any sleep. It's just about your neighbors, and they advertise as terrace is quieter and front yard is quieter. That's baloney. You could have some rowdy neighbors
Right.
next to you, and
You can only hope.
it could be completely quiet and standard, and it's just part of the vibe.
So it wasn't the after parties. I couldn't sleep. Wasn't the loud music or the Chevy Silverado, with the boom, boom, boom bass at 3 o'clock in the morning, or neighbors, or whatever. Friday night, it came down to this little son of a bitch. This little thing right here was, Patty had the flag up there.
Talk louder.
And kept us going. This little son of a bitch kept me all up Friday night.
And it's just part of the vibe. Is you have
Right.
to stay there because it's a pain to get parking,
Right.
for the day. That doesn't help your business, I know, but and drive
It's true.
away.
It's
You know,
completely true, though.
I mean, I understand if you go to a local hotel, there's going to be fam there too that you could have. But the experience here, the most beautiful venue, why are you going to go to a Holiday Inn or something
Right.
down the road? For those who just refuse to camp at the Gorge, it was suggested to me by a fan member to mention the Wild Horse Campground, simply because there is an urgency to reserve it because it will sell out. Now, I've heard nothing but good things about Wild Horse Campground, so be sure to check that out. Just a brief overview on the hotels in the area, and more importantly, there is no ride share. So yes, there will be hotel packages offered who will have shuttles. But in this conversation, we really didn't talk about the hotels, but more so about shuttle services to and from hotels that don't offer their own shuttles to the amphitheater. So there are businesses and individuals in the area that essentially operate like Uber and Lyft that are available. This is huge news.
There's several of them. It's just the fact that people don't know about them so much, and so what we try to do is just push out their names and get their names out there as much as possible, so that people know that, hey, Uber and Lyft might not be so available, but call these people up, and
Okay, so there's going to be hotels. A lot of them will have packages that will come online when tickets go for sale, but not every hotel is going to have a package. So
right.
what you're saying, if someone is staying at a hotel that's not offered in the package that will be for
Right.
sale, there
You can
are
always,
shuttles available. So we
Right.
are going to make this list between Rebecca and myself. We will have it ready for you when we do the live Q&A, and it's going to be an invaluable resource because those people want to stay at hotels. If they don't have a shuttle, this answers all of those questions.
Right.
Right, exactly. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do here is I want to talk about RV rentals, because in 2019 when we went to the Weekender, somehow we found out about Outdoorsy, and there's a myriad of companies out there that rent RVs, and I'm going to do a walkthrough here. For this video, we're just going to use Outdoorsy. There's many other RV rental services because this is what I'm used to. So what you're going to do, and this is kind of a need because people are going to start wanting to rent RVs right now. And let me say this back to us. The inventory of RVs are going to be, there's going to be a lot more of them because in the past week, they've always been July, which is big travel season, right? People are renting
Right.
RVs. So these owners of these RVs in the area are renting out to people not going to the Gorge. But being that this is the week after Labor Day, so the inventory will be plenty. So if you don't get some in the next couple of months, there should be others. And again, for the purposes of this, we are just going to go over with Outdoorsy. So what you want to do is you want to type in Quincy, Washington, because that's the closest big city to the Gorge. and I've already got the dates in here, and I've got 2 people, and you want to go to delivery, bring it to me, set it up at my destination. You're going to click on set it up to destination. This is where they will drop it for you. I acknowledge, blah, 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 this and that. There's 109 RVs to choose from. And then another thing that's very important for all filters is you want a towable RV. Let's do towable RV. Okay, 105. But this is important too right here, is you want festival friendly, because not every owner of RVs will deliver to the gorge because of bad experiences.
True.
So you click on festival friendly, and that takes it down to, we're down to 80 RVs. So right now, as of December 17th, there are 80 RVs through Outdoorsy that are willing to go to the gorge. So people, what you do is you just go through and you go through the prices. You can add, well, you don't worry about pet friendly, but you can add all these different drop down filters in here. And so we went to Quincy, Washington. We did September 11th through 13th. We got 2 guests, and there you go. That's the process, how easy it is. Again, the most important thing is to make sure that it's, you could do drivable too. Let's see what drivable does. Oh, there's only 4. So towable, you want them delivered. And the most important thing again is click on festival friendly, because they don't all do that. So
And a quick note, the drivable ones, that counts as your steering wheel. So towable, you can still have a vehicle that you can tow it with, and they won't add that as your vehicle. So,
so
you
get
have to, if you had
charged
a vehicle plus
right.
the drivable, then if you're driving to your drivable for some reason, then you'll have to have another campsite or find parking for your vehicle. Some people just prefer that they have something that they can tow and then, or have delivered to them, and then be able to have that.
Yeah, so for the ease of
vehicle.
this, and what we've done in 2019, all 3 weekenders, is that we first of all, we drove to the gorge from the Sacramento area, so we made a 2-week thing of it. So we didn't have to fly in, get a rent-a-car. We drove. We were fortunate to. So if you get an RV delivered, then you drive in, whether it's with your vehicle or a rent-a-car, that's your one steering wheel, because you get one steering wheel.
Right.
So the owner comes and he drops it off, and he will either go over with you with instructions by video, or he'll meet with you. Each owner is different. And usually your cell phone, depends on them. I've got a guy that's got 5 RVs, so I've already got 5 crews all set up. They're all ready to go. So I've been in contact with Wade. He's a retired sheriff from that county up there, and he owns 3 and he's got access to 2. So they're all sold out. So he will go and deliver them all, and they'll all be delivered in a row. So that's the one steering wheel deal, is that, you want to get one delivered to you. They drop it off. You drive your vehicle there, and then you could all fit in. So that's the RV delivery. And again, when we do the live video Q&A, I'll have more rental companies that will be of help. Outdoorsy's just one. There's Cruise America. There's quite a bit. And anything, if you want to add to that, there may be private owners.
Oh yeah, I have a blog that has I did a lot of research, and so if you ever want to take a look at the blog that's on our website, it has RVs near the RV companies near the Gorge Amphitheater, and I specify which ones deliver to the gorge as well.
Perfect. That's great. And we will share that resource on our Q&A.
Yeah.
And so, but you would probably agree that the inventory will be more plentiful, because it's not the summer season. It's off of summer season.
Right.
And another thing that it will be really important too is that since it's mid-September, we're not going to get, I assume, you can tell me more, we're not going to get 95 to 98 degree weather during the summer. So often people try to use their AC at an RV, and it just wouldn't work. Even the most modern RV, when it's 95 degrees outside, you got 6 people coming in and out of an RV,
right,
the doors and all that stuff, and you're trying to all you're doing is wasting gas, and then you got to pay for the gas. So what's nice is that we assume in middle of September that the weather will be a nice little chill, and you're not going to have to use air conditioning. So that saves you on gas. You don't have to worry about people coming in and out. And one big other thing is that it's only Patty and I. We get a bigger RV to have a little bit of spread, but we don't ever share our RV. People can certainly use it and come in. But when you got 6 to 8 people sleeping in there, it's not so comfortable because you hear every burp, every fart, every sound, every snoring. And like friends of ours, and here's some video I'll be showing up. There's 6 or 7 or 8 of them in there, and including the 11 guys, so people who know the 11, and my boy Justin Duke. Shout out Justin Duke, happy birthday. But they were just using the shower in the bathroom, the public one. They weren't even using their own toilet and shower that they paid for. So now we've had people set up, they came in with our car and they had their own little tent outside. Here's scene right here. This is Diane, my YouTube mentor. She stayed with us one year and she just camped out at her tent and anything. So anyways, anything more you want to add on or have to add to RV rentals that we didn't cover?
Couple things I forgot and I'd like to mention. First of all, when you do rent an RV, you're going to have an awning that's retractable that you can bring in and out. When you're gone for the day, you've got to bring that awning in because wind will show up, it will tear it off, break it, and there goes your deposit. Secondly, you're going to get cleaning supplies from the owner. Make sure that you clean the toilet, sweep, and just wipe down the countertops. Be respectful. Of course you guys are, and you got to take out the trash. Speaking of trash, in 2022, we had all our dirty clothes in a pillowcase that we set outside. Our RV owner showed up to pick up the RV. He thought it was trash and he threw it away. Patty lost her favorite outfit. I lost my Shea shirt and other clothes. So just be careful where your dirty clothes are at.
Well, one thing I did come across in some situations where the people who deliver your RV, for some reason or other, they're not aware of the form that they need to fill out because and if anybody ever needs the link, I've provided it many times to a lot of people. It's just, I think even if you Google RV delivery, the Gorge, the link will come up for you. It's just a form that you fill out to let the Gorge know what day that you're going to be just delivering your RV. So it's something to bring up that's important that I've seen, people get really angry because nobody communicated. It was just a problem that I've seen. So
we don't know. It's advertised as September 11th through the 13th, Friday through Sunday. Now, the last weekend in 2023, it was part of the ticket was to arrive on Thursday. So 2019, Thursday was not an option. 2022, for $40, you could stay as Thursday was an option. And then what most people didn't know, a lot of you Anjuna fan probably didn't realize this, but in 2023, if you went to the Weekender, you paid for Thursday. And most people didn't know, so they didn't arrive on Thursday. We arrived on Thursday. It was really... That's a great day to arrive. You get to meet with the fam and talk with them and kind of chill out and stuff. So as far as the RV rentals, we don't yet know. We don't know if the Gorge can allow it because I've talked to our RV guy, Wade, and he said if we're all arriving on Thursday, then he's going to deliver them on Wednesday. So it's not such a madhouse. So are you familiar with any of these events scheduled in 2026? Is it just strictly a Friday through Sunday event? Have you heard anything about Thursday arrival?
So, it varies. It's very interesting how they do this. Sometimes it can be Thursday, and very consistently it's Thursday. But every now and then they throw us a curveball because what we do is we base our check-in and check-out dates solely on the campers. And so we make sure that we're there, the day that they're coming, the earliest possible. And so I have to make sure that I'm really on my game when it comes to early entry. I, no joke, have seen, and I pay very close attention. So I've seen like a week or 2 weeks ahead of time where all of a sudden, Wednesday,
I'm sure it's negotiated between the promoters who's bringing the event and Live Nation.
Exactly. It depends on who's coming in. Exactly.
The Vantage Bridge.
So what I read, and I know you're going to be a big help with it, and I got another local that'll come on and speak of this, but I was reading, okay, so during the Vantage Bridge is going under construction. It started last year and it's going to go through for a couple of years. Anyone coming from the west, coming from the airport is going to have to take the Vantage. Well, they don't have to, but that's the quickest route. So in the summertime, it's 2 lanes, but on basically weekends, Memorial Day, Labor Day, 4th of July, it's open. That's what I understand, but we don't have to worry about that. We're worried in September. So come after Labor Day, there should be less traffic. We don't know how much of a hindrance it's going to be, but we will have you all dialed in with the websites and everything that you have to go to. And certainly there is a way around, but we were thinking, Patty and I, of arriving on that side of the bridge on Wednesday, coming in Wednesday, because It says that the traffic's heaviest on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If you're going east on Thursday, then if you're coming west on Sundays, it could be backed up. I don't know how much of an impact it's going to have on September 11th and 13th, but what do you know about the Vantage Bridge and how much has it been a pain to locals?
Oh my goodness. So when we found out that it was going to be until 2028, it was like, my goodness.
2028?
2028. Yes. Yeah. And, every time we pass by there, it doesn't seem like they're working on it. They only work on it when it's really warm. And I get that because it gets really windy, it gets really foggy there, and so it can be unsafe for the workers. But it's like, boy, kind of like a wild card. You never know if you're going to be stuck there for 20 minutes or if you're going to sail on through, or if you're going to be stuck there for 4+ hours. You just don't know.
And the thing is, you could have it on your maps, right? And by the time you leave, there's a 20-minute delay, we're good. But by the time you show up, it could be an hour and a half. And I saw on Reddit, it may have even been you that posted, I don't know if it was Hosier or whatever. Someone said that they missed the entire event because they were stuck in traffic.
Hosier, Lumineers. I think that might have been, was that the same weekend? I can't remember if that was the one, because they double booked a weekend. And that was the problem, is that people were trying to get out and check out of the prior concert while everybody was trying to get in. And so it was just a complete nightmare, and people were backed up for miles and miles. And it was just so sad that had to happen. But yeah, I found out, I can't remember, it was just the tail end of this last season that I found out there's actually cameras that you can access, like webcams of the bridge. So like if you're on the freeway and you're thinking maybe I need to exit the freeway and go a different route, maybe go the Wenatchee route, go through Wenatchee. That's you can look at the cameras and if you see just a straight line of traffic, maybe you just want to go the Wenatchee route. And
what's the alternate route for those flying in maybe to Seattle? Well, first of all, what this would do is put a priority maybe to landing in what's the other airport? Spokane, right?
I always advocate Spokane over SeaTac for a lot of reasons.
Okay.
Yeah, because the travel time, when you look up travel time from Seattle to the Gorge, you're gonna get like a 2 hours and some number, and you compare from Spokane to the Gorge, and you're just gonna get a much more accurate number when it comes to from Spokane to the Gorge.
Without having a map in front of me, is there an airport I'm thinking of that is east of the Gorge that is not Spokane?
Pasco, you might be thinking.
Which one is that?
Pasco.
Okay, that's just a tiny little. I don't know how many flights go in there, but it would be more expensive.
Hey, if it's an option, definitely take it. Yeah,
that is a
good option. They have car rentals there. You can, and there's plenty of places to like get essentials before you head out to the Gorge as well in Pasco. So yeah, like that's a great place. Even if, if Spokane might not be an option because they're sold out of a flight or whatever, that's a great option.
Okay.
But you're going to get stuck in Spokane or Seattle traffic.
So if you're driving from Seattle and you land at SeaTac and you get your rental car and you're like looking at the map, and then all of a sudden it gets really red there at the Vantage Bridge. You're like, oh my God,
Right.
an hour and a half delay. Again, I
Right.
don't have a map on me, but they have to go north, I guess. And that's gonna,
Right.
would you say it's gonna be quicker going north on whatever freeway or highway that is, or just get stuck in the traffic? And
I can't right now remember what number it is, what the
Okay.
highway that it is, but it's around Clay Elum. You would take an exit to go towards Wenatchee, and that's going to add about an hour to your time. But you know, if you would rather add an hour, but keep moving,
sitting or driving, right?
exactly, yeah, and it's more like
Yeah, if you're coming in Saturday or Sunday, Saturday, why would you pay money to come in on Sunday? Some people can't get there till Saturday.
right.
I mean, the main music is happening Saturday and Sunday. There's festivities Friday night. But right now at this time, before we do our Q&A live video at the first of the year, I would say right now, plan on coming in Friday. Thursday would even be better.
If you can, yeah. If you can. Oh, hey, you know the Hosier thing? I just remembered there was also a football game in Pullman. There was a college football game in Pullman, and everybody was traveling. That weekend was it was kind of like a perfect storm.
This Washington State isn't Pullman?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. So Rebecca makes a good point. Now, I mapped it out from the Gorge to Washington State University in Pullman. I'm not sure who would drive 3 hours to go see a mediocre college football team in the Cougars, but I did the research, and look at Saturday, September 12th, they do play, but it's at Kansas State, so we're good. All right, well, listen, Rebecca with GW Secure Parking, you've been amazing. I look forward to having you on when we do the live Q&A, so that family can come in and type in their questions, and then we'll be able to answer them. And we'll have other guests on. Again, stay tuned and make sure that you subscribe to our channel here, NorCal EDM News, and stay abreast when the video comes. And I'll be putting it on, of course, the Facebook groups and all that stuff. So, Rebecca, thanks a lot for being here. I thank you for taking the time. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Has anyone noticed that the logo for 700 may be an homage to Walter the Bus? Remember Walter the Bus from the 22 Weekender? Just saying. And a couple of other topics we did not discuss today that we will address in our live Q&A. And these topics are:
what if we all can't fit into our vehicle with all our gear? What do we do?
What if one of our friends can't make it until Saturday? How do they get to our campsite?
What if all of our crew are already inside the camping grounds, but one of our friends is lagging, as usual, and they're late? How do they get to our campground?
Okay, the story of Rooster. Bear with me here, and I'm just going to use this B-roll of myself and my YouTube mentor Diane in the background. So there's a fam member, his name is Rooster. He's an Air Force veteran. He lives in my hometown of Roseville, California. And we've been chatting, and we hadn't hooked up yet in Roseville. So we hook up at the 22 Weekender. And it's dark, and I'm chatting with him, and we're catching up on all things Anjuna family and our hometown. And, you know, we leave and say, hey, let's hook up tomorrow. So the next day, he said, we're going to meet at the entrance. So I text Rooster, and he says this is where he's at. Now, I didn't get a lot of recognition of his face so much because it was dark. I know he kind of has red hair. So I walk up to this guy, Rooster, what's up? I give him a big old hug. He's like, hey, dude, hey, Rooster, who's Rooster? I said, you're not Rooster? He goes, no, I'm Jimmy or whatever. I said, you're wearing a rooster on your hat, and you look like a guy named Rooster. And he kind of had a laugh at it. Anyways, that's the story of Rooster. I thought it was hilarious. Thanks for being here. We look forward to live Q&A on YouTube that we're going to do. So be sure to subscribe, and we'll be in touch.